Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your 7-card draw What Do I Need read for this full moon to new moon in June 2022. I'm your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Virgo Sun sign, Mal for short. They're my initials, Angelo, Lyons, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle. There's a link in the description box, and you can check out the first bunch of pages for free on Kindle, and at least go read some of the reviews, or at really, if you wanna get a nice flavor of who I am, read the dedication to my mom that I wrote. Every time I look over it again, I go, it really opens my heart. Now, what am I forgetting? How could I forget? I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/drawing the circles. We got humans, we got heroes, we got angels, we got witches, we got immortals, gods, goddesses, 6 different tiers of subscription at the time of this recording, where I'm giving exclusive content, stuff that the patrons get to see before the rest of the internet, chatting pretty much every morning with a cup of coffee and a bathrobe, with my hair doing what it's going to do, talking about the day's lunar astrology, magical applications, and if there is an empathic surge for my energy sensitive empaths out there. So go check it out. I think you'll dig it. It helps me pay my bills. Why? Because I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. And I'm in a good mood today, considering everything that's going on planet Earth at the time of this recording. So we're going to try and keep this shadow read light, but we're going to have a couple of serious moments along the way, because we're Virgos, right? Let's look at the deets. If you are new to the channel, a 7-card draw just means 1 card from 7 different decks, getting you clues, tips, and hints about a specific astrological timeline. In this case, a waning moon, a 2-week period. So it is a timed reading, not a timeless reading. But one of my patrons said, you know, I went back and looked at some of your 5-card draw waxings and your 7-card draw waning moons just to see, and I was like, and they were blown away. Hindsight, after all, is 20/20 with Baba Wawa. So let's look at that timeline, shall we? We're looking at the full moon in Sagittarius, Tuesday, June 14th, my father's birthday. God rest his soul, if that's where he is. Donald Trump's birthday, which you gotta say is kind of interesting, because that makes me Tiffany. I'm okay with that. At 6:52 a.m. Eastern Time. Literally, I am going to be doing the magic at midnight that night, doing stuff for Patreon, and then it'll show up in YouTube land a couple of days later. But then, of course, we're looking at the 2 weeks of letting go, releasing, paring down, shrinking, forgiving, alchemizing from lead to gold. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold, so you let go of those 3. You go from an insulator to a conductor, from something that can kill you to something that you can heal you, symbolically speaking at least, except lead really is that way. So, you know, the new moon in Cancer, you want to clean the slate, my Virgs, right? Do the shadow work necessary so that you can nail the dismount, or at least the remount, of the new moon in Cancer, Tuesday, June 28th, 10:52 p.m. So right after 10:52 p.m. Eastern Time. I am in New York. Good to plant those seeds, and the 5-card draw waxing moon reads will be out way before then. So it's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and I do suggest checking your other signs, because we got more than one thing going on that we're letting go and releasing. I mean, it's all holographic, it's all connected, but your sun might be about one thing, your moon might be about another, or maybe all 4 of them could be about what the timeline we're about to look at. Cool? So both feet on the floor. If you can, focus on your breath, if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace to help you do the shadow work, because we are all one. All right. So that means there's only one shadow, right? All the stuff that nobody has dealt with for millennia. I mean, how far back do you want to go? Cavemen, right? The stuff passed down through the ancestral patterns. Emotions, for example, have biological components that if they're not dealt with, you pass them on genetically. It's just how it works. I didn't make that rule. I wouldn't make that rule. So you do your shadow work, I'll do my shadow work, and as a result, we're helping to not just heal ourselves and each other, but heal the planet, because as there's less pain, less unresolved emotional baggage or what have you, spiritual, physical, and mental, emotional pain, whatever, shadow is in there, stuff we don't want to look at, the better this planet's going to be. And my prime directive, Paradise Planet Earth. Let's work it. So, you ready? I think that was the serious. Let's see what else happens. And I let the goofy out at the very, very end of the reading to release the reading, and you're like, what do you mean? You're goofy now. Well, I know people don't watch the end, so I just go for it. Ready? Let's do this. Please take a nice deep breath. From explanation to divination in just one breath. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine, the angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of the General Assembly. We don't know what this is about yet. The higher selves of all involved, fifth dimension and above, eighth chakra, and above the spirit animals and totems, as well as the pantheon of all pantheons from all traditions, lineages, and cultures, sort of like the UN of pantheons. For the Virgo Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading using the Caroline Mace archetype deck. What is the dominant eighth chakra archetype? Soul pattern, being alchemized, the lesson learned from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, changing the electromagnetic dynamics of every chakra and energy field underneath the eighth chakra, which is pretty much everything else. What they attract, what they repel, so they stay on track, and so that they do the shadow work, because everything changes. But it can only change to make us better, right? It's only to make us better. So please, pantheons, dominant eighth chakra archetype for the Virgos. Let's try and keep me out of this one, but let's see for this full to new June 2022. Ah, the lover archetype. I got it in spades. Now I know. Oh, romance. People will see it in the title and think immediately this is about getting your stuff touched. The lover archetype is way more than that. It is a masculine family archetype, interestingly enough, although it is depicted with a female on it, which I love, because archetypes are not about gender, they're about dynamic. So, of course, you have a feminine family archetype, so feminine family of archetypes. So, of course, you have a masculine amongst the 9, because it is demonstrative. It is masculine energy, the lover. It is active. The shadow attribute written here, you could consider that the symbolic lead with those 3 atoms in there you want to kind of release. The shadow attribute, obsessive passion that harms others. Keying somebody's car usually comes to mind. Passion, when repressed, becomes anger, rage, and wrath. So that can get a little cuckoo bananas. Self-destructive devotion. Like sitting outside someone's house late at night, in the car, lights off, scoping and probing. You know what I'm saying? It's not great. It wears you down. However, as toxic as that sound is, as brilliant as the lover is in its light attribute, the gold, right? We want to shift from a lead timeline to a gold timeline. We have to align with that timeline. This is the key. Great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation. So bridle, that's a horse thing, right? You got to keep the bridle on it. It sounds like a wedding dress, doesn't it? A horse wedding, whatever. Wilbur. Well, it is Gay Pride Month. LGBTQIA. Blessed be. Oh, yeah. Happy Pride! Well, my fan is backwards. What else is new, right? Because I have Black Cat Witch Pride, and I am a gay man, and if you can't tell, check the batteries in your gaydar. Unbridled appreciation of someone or something. I feel that way about cooking, about gardening, about the gods and the archangels. I love them. I live alone. I work from home. Well, I live with 3 black cats. What do you think? I don't have unbridled love and appreciation? So this is incredibly powerful, and ain't this just, well, what the world needs now is love. Sweet love. I hope Diana Ross just went, whoa, what was that? All right, let's move. We'll move on. We know what that is. So you got the lover hanging over you, beaming like a satellite, the codes, the messages, the guidance, the grace, in order to help you balance all this. The next 4 chakras down we will look at with the daughters and say, oh, you got the mother and the crown, the empress and the wise one. Let's see if one of them pops up. Heart, throat, third eye, crown is your feminine energy, your internal energy, your yin dynamic, spiritual power, mental power, willpower, which means choice and decision, not, you know, put out the grind. That's not willpower. Sometimes the will is to say no, right? Choice is spit, swallow, or chew. And emotional power. And this is really where the shadow work begins, because you have to choose to do it or not. That's free will for you. Remember, the shadow is what you don't want to look at or face, and even if you do know about it, look at it and face it, you don't want anybody else to know. You want to keep it in the shadow. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon my goddesses of earth, the sign of Virgo, powers of the north, please, my beloved ones, heart, third eye, crown dynamic. What is it that the Virgo collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, need to be aware of in their internal world, the world behind their eyes, so that they can get a little clue, tip, and hint about the shadow work needed here this full to new June 2. The lovers are the lovers card. You've got the lover and the lovers. Now I will say, because I just did the reading about an hour or so ago. Wait, who else got? Oh, yeah. The Leo got this same card in the same position. Now, as much as I try and keep myself out of these readings, because I do, you know, subjectivity to an extent, but I try and stay objective as a reader. I'm Leo rising. Big decision coming, folks. Big life-changing decision. Yeah, the Lover's card may very well be about romance, but, you know, making a decision to fall in love, to be with somebody, to have unbridled appreciation, sure, there's risk involved, but it's life-changing. That's the point, right? That's why they don't come by every day. Well, they may, but you know what I'm saying. The opportunities. So I'm just saying first, let's cross our legs a few minutes longer and see what this is about. It's only 2 out of 7 cards down. But, I mean, I don't know if it's technically a double whammy, as I like to call them, but that's a lot of the word love in there, and I'm glad it's us. Glad it's the Virgos, because, you know, at least we'll tidy up before they come over, if that's the case. You tidy up? If you got it, flaunt it. Gotta let you strut your stuff. Let's look at the lower 3 chakras. This is the masculine energy, the external, right? We already got a masculine family archetype here. But this is lower 3 chakra dynamic, right? Outside looking in at the Virgo maybe from the inside looking out at a person, place, or thing, because lower 3 chakras are about relationships in the physical world, right? Root chakra, groups, circles of friends, your family. I love Fleetwood Mac, therefore I'm a Stevie Nicks-er. Well, although she has a solo career, right? I'm a dancer, that's a tribe. I'm an artist, that's a tribe. I have my political leanings, that's a tribe, right? LGBTQEIEIO, blessed be. That's my tribe too. The whole human race, right? Because there's only one of us here. Let's see what the gods have to say about that, because your second chakra is money, sex, and power, your relationship to another person. This could pertain, again, it's a general read, but solar plexus is your relationship to yourself in the world, your honor code, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't. I'm not that kind of sign, right? Ew, no, I'm not settling for that, right? That's your self-esteem and your gut intuition that no one else gets but you in that moment. So what are you going to do? Check with everybody? Or you're going to estimate, like a verb, the value of your own gut feelings. Please take a nice deep breath. Let's get wild here. Let's see. Still point. As I call upon my gods of earth, the sign of Virgo, powers of the north, lower 3 chakra, please, my beloved. 1 card in clarity for the Virgo collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, what they need to be aware of outside, right? In some way, either how they're appearing from the outside. Sometimes there's nothing like stepping out of yourself horizontally. to see what's going on, but this could be another person, place, or thing, that this unbridled thing they're shooting for, this unbridled love and appreciation for someone or something, but it's a life-changing decision. It's not just a choice which has a consequence. The consequence of a decision is a change in your life. So please clarify, make it clear, make it obvious to the Virgo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, maybe creating this video. What do we need to know? This full to new June 2-2. Do we just have the Empress? It was one of the two daughters of the moon cards there. We had Mawu, the Empress. Oh my goodness gracious. Isn't this just the unconditional love card? It is mother love, but the Empress is also the wife, the queen. Well, all of the queens of the tarot put together make the Empress. All the kings do that for the Emperor, and it stops there. The knights and the pages don't get that kind of treatment, and they shouldn't. They need to work up to it. Remember, a knight can become a king. They have to cut off his head, usually, whatever. This is incredibly powerful. It is relatively rare in a 7-card draw with only 2 tarot cards, 2 tarot decks, I should say. Let's be specific, Virgo, to have major arcana. When it's major arcana, heart, third eye, crown, it's all 4 at once. When it's major arcana, lower 3 chakra, it's all 3 at once. Look at this. You got the Lover making a decision and manifesting yourself most likely as the Empress. Work! Work! Or you are dealing with an Empress energy outside of you. Again, it's a general read. And let's get this out of the way. If you want to book me for a private reading, it's easy. There is a video in the description box called Booking a Reading with Mal. I made it last year, so I don't have to say it every time how to do it. It explains everything for you, just like Clarissa. Good. Thank you, Melissa Joan Hart, and Nickelodeon. Let's look at this. We got a very strong chakric surge here. The speed at which depends on our own free will of what we choose to do about it, about that decision. But that's why we're going to get a Matt Kahn Healing Mantra card to help bring this into alignment for you. Now, I am a Virgo who loves mantras because they are mental, right? We are ruled by Mercury, but we're earth signs, right? So that we can actually take a teeny tiny little couple of words like a mantra and slowly, gradually, mutable earth, like grains of sand shifting, really build something of power, even in a waning moon read. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. That was my phone. Did anybody else hear that? Was that just me? Thank you, Ascended Masters. That was high. That was cool. Please, my Ascended Masters, the Ascended Masters General Assembly, we could say about love, obviously. But what kind of love? And what's love got to do with it for the Virgo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading? The perfect healing mantra, make it specific so that they go, clutch the pearls, with the Lover archetype in the 8th, Lovers on the inner, and the Empress, the unconditional heart open, Spirit Queen of the Tarot, lower 3 chakras. What do you got for them? What's our perfect healing mantra this full to new June 2022? Dissolving judgments. I don't have to like the actions of others in order to love my journey. Do we have the word love on the table again? That's pretty much 3, not exactly in a row, but as we said, a healthy Empress is a thing of eternal beauty. Dissolving judgments. Now, what are Virgos known for? I don't know, being critical? Well, we are sand, mutable earth. You know how you can find sand in crevices that, you ain't been to the beach in 5 years. How did that get there, right? Virgos, we can get ourselves into and out of anything, just about. But we're also critical, right? We're microscopic, right? When I am in a bad mood, fit to be tied, I'll take apart Da Vinci, right? Balanchine, I don't care, I'll find something wrong with it, right? So, but judgment and discernment are 2 different things, but they can feel a lot alike. It depends on your lead to gold percentage or ratio, as you choose to see that. We're going to read it from the Bookie Book. This is one of 3 Bookie Book readings because I can't remember all of this. It's a lot. I can't remember every single word. But I think you'll like this one. I don't have to like the actions of others in order to love my journey. Now I got to tell you, you're allowed to dislike. You are allowed to dislike. Matt Kahn, this is his mantra deck, obviously. I got so much out of his last book. He's got a new one coming out, All for Love. There's a documentary movie around it, which is kind of cool. I love him. Never met him. He's cool. West Coast kale-eating sweater vester, but I'm cool. To each their own, right? I don't have to like his fashion sense in order to love his journey and mine. We are really, really looking at that in order to be emotionally free, it's okay to dislike. It's one of the 10 golden rules of letting go. 10 golden rules of letting go from his book, The Universe Always Has a Plan. And the mantra for it is, it's okay. It's okay to not like that. It's not in resonance with your truth, but it's what they're going through. So this is part of not taking things personally. I don't have to like the behaviors of others in order to love my journey. When judgments are dissolved, you don't have to enjoy the actions of others in order to glean benefit from them. All right, so they're, they've got their crown chakra in their root chakra. You don't have to like it, but you can gain benefit from it, hopefully without being shady. When you know that every moment has been created to help each soul shine the brightest, it becomes easier to not take things personally. That was in my subconscious, apparently. Instead, you are able to appreciate the positions life has put you in as evidence of your evolving mastery and form. Now, if you're really getting the romantic vibe here, and that would be really easy to do with these cards, but it's a general read, right? Then certainly you can love somebody and not like their behavior. Right? You can understand and not take it personally. That's their pain. What usually people do when you're judging what they're doing is they are doing to them, they are doing to you what was done to them. So if they were abused, they're abusive. Or they flip the script and then they're neglectful. The chaser and the runaway, if you've heard about that. We're going to be talking about that on Patreon a bit in this next couple of weeks. Because there's the walker, right? It's the healthy, it's the middle ground, the third road, as Buddha would call it, right? So this is about your mastery and form, and being an embodiment of love is what the world needs. So to get that, I'm going to dissolve my judgment. Matt Kahn said in one of his books, I think it was his first one, Whatever Arises, Love That. I can't remember which book. But he said that judgment is often a thin veneer of lead, toxic, with a golden nugget of intuition. So if you can allow yourself to not like it and that's shadow work in and of itself. Oh no, gotta be spiritual, have to like everything, otherwise my vision board will explode. No. To be emotionally free, in other words, to feel the entire spectrum of emotions, it's okay to dislike. But there's a nugget of golden wisdom and intuition at the core of that. This mantra is ideal for learning to speak your truth without blasting their heads off, man. I come from verbal decapitators in my family. Cultivating empathy. Solar plexus, really understanding. I may not understand the form, but I understand the pain. That's social empathy. But if you are a vibrational empath, right, an energetic feeling other people's energy and emotions in your own cell tissue, Pisces moon, then of course that's going to help with that. And trusting the universe that they have put this person in your path not to give you what you want, but to get you what you need in order to be the best that you can be. Because everything changes, but it can only change us for the better. But we don't often see that until hindsight or when we're in stillness. Just saying. 3 more cards left. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I certainly am. We got Demeter here. She's one of my goddesses. Goddess of Taurus for me, but there she is. Whispers of Love Oracle. The voices of your higher self and the higher self of anyone else involved in this. let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, please, what is the whisper of love? The piece of information, inspiration, insight most needed from the higher self collective to help the Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs alchemize this lever with this life-changing decision that dealing with an empress or being the empress, dissolving judgments, that they don't have to like the behavior of everyone involved here in order to love their personal experience of being divine in human form. So what is piece of information, inspiration, insight the Virgs need this full to new June 2022? Honesty is essential. Uh-oh. No, that's a good one. Honesty is essential. To be a loving person, it is important that we speak truthfully and in a loving manner. Now, that can devolve into verbal passive aggression. I'm so sorry you're that fucked up. No, that's not loving. I'm so sorry your crown chakra is wedged so far up your root chakra that it's touching your sacral chakra. That's not helpful. That may be honestly what you're feeling. But certainly, in terms of what comes out of your throat chakra, to be honest, and you know what's honest? Honest is saying, I don't like this. I don't like this, but I love you. I don't like this. To each their own. But I might need to pull back and deal with this a little bit because I do love you. I'm not here to hate. I'm here to love. But if I can't allow myself to dislike, how am I going to do the alchemy by not even acknowledging that something feels off? Because that's usually what's at the core of it. Right? That wisdom is no bueno. Something's not right here. But it's surrounded by the societal conditioning, parental stuff, whatever, right? The past, essentially. Digging it. And Virgos, we can be very honest, but let's be clear. The word incisive honesty is one thing. But when you start, you know, with the sword of truth, whacking people's heads from their shoulders, who almost accidentally said something else, then Angelica Houston, we have a problem. Let's look at the Divine Animals Oracle. This is my favorite pantheon of all of them. Why? Because they communicate, but they don't talk back. No, that's not true. Stacey DeMarco's deck, I love her work. I love this book. And if you're going to be on the hero's journey, doing shadow work, particularly as a lover, it'll be good to know what animal spirits and or totems are with you. And an animal spirit and a totem is not exactly the same thing. Maybe come to Patreon and we'll talk about it because I used to teach this stuff on the regular. Please take a nice deep breath. And it doesn't mean you can't wear H&M and not have shamanic technique. Let's keep it light, Virgs. Still point. As I call upon the spirit animals and totems, I love you. For the Virgo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, who walks with them, who swims with them, who flies with them, who crawls with them, offering them, for them to accept or not, offering them the protection, the support, the guidance, the grace, the love, the wisdom, and the power to do this shadow work with the lover in the 8th chakra, the lovers on our third eye ground, the empress, root, sacrum, solar plexus, dissolving judgments. They don't have to like anybody's behavior in order to love their journey, and honesty is essential, and maybe that starts at home, right? To be like, something's off here, and I don't know what it is, and I want to burn down the village, but I'm not gonna. I don't know that you want to burn down the village. I'm not getting that. But if I'm not feeling love, then it must be fear. Because the opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. It's in the intro to Course in Miracles. I'm a bookhead. So please, beloved pantheon of spirit, animals, spirit animals, and totems, who walks with them, who swims with the Virgos, who flies, who crawls, this full to new June 2022. You got the meerkat. Kuna Mawaha? Oh dear, Hakuna, my totem. The meerkat. Boing, 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 boing. Well, I mean, they live in sand usually. Kind of Virgo, actually, now that I think about it. Responsibility is the key word. Card number 16. Now, who's more responsible than a Virgo? Well, maybe a Capricorn or a Taurus, but at least we get wiggle room. Responsibility is a really loaded, triggery word for people because it usually meant suffering or burden. But it's your ability to respond, and response comes from love, and that's why you're allowed to be honest and really be honest with yourself about, I need 2 weeks to process this. That's just fine. I'm going the wrong direction. Card number 16. Meerkat. It's not just a meerkat, it's a meerkat. And we've got a hairball in the background. At least it's a meerkat, right? The card, not my Balthazar. Responsibility. Do you take responsibility seriously, or is it easier to blame others or outside influences? Oh, gee, like dissolving judgments or something. There should be a balance between responsibility for others and yourself. Someone may not be honoring their word. Oh, I doubt it's the Virgo. Developing altruism is important. Teaching others the skills you have mastered is a highly honorable act. There's a couple of elements in there, actually. A balance between responsibility, between yourself and others. Someone's not doing what they said they're going to do. And then teaching others, I would think by example, that you have mastered is a highly honorable act. In other words, you don't have to tell them, this is how we do it. No, you teach by example, and to be loving in this situation as the Empress, I think, is the gig. The magic. Meerkat magic is all about altruism, look it up, and responsibility. Such small but fierce creatures. I'm a large, fierce creature. Watch out for each other and work as a community to educate and protect. Sounds like Virgo. Call upon the energy and magic of meerkats when you need help with yourself or someone else to hold their word or to fulfill their responsibilities. Meerkat energy is also valuable in facilitating teams in difficult conditions. I'm in this read. I know a couple of people this might be about, because I show up. Like, if I say I'm going to call you, I either call you or I message you and let you know, sorry, there's cat barf I have to deal with, so that you know. I never leave people hanging. Don't leave me hanging. I'd rather be ganging with my dang good stuff. Fred Schneider, white courtesy telephone. Remember how we talked about the gold here, the light attribute? There is gold within the lead. Therefore, there is a blessing, a hidden blessing. Hidden now, but do the shadow work. You get to experience that blessing. So we're going to use the Blessed Be, the Mystical Blessing cards to enrich and empower by Lucy Cavendish to get a clue, tip, and hint about what the hidden blessing is, the gold within the lead. And it's a Melchior. You can't tell there's a black cat there, can you? Hey, buddy. Here, look at the camera so they can see your eyes. Come here. Come here. Do you see him? Do you see those? There he is. My Taurus. Earth signs unite. Now, as much as I've been joking around, just because the psychic atmosphere at the time of this recording is nuts. The January 6th thing hit the news last night. You know, Woo, it's a lot. I was just watching the news maybe an hour before I hit record. I'm like, okay, let's keep it light. This is intense. But when it comes to conferring the blessing, we go for it full force. My blessing cords are on the other side of the room. I'll be right back. It's like I dream a genie. Well, I'm really more of a Serena than a Samantha. So let's do this for realsies. Got the Torch of Archangel Ariel here. I'm not kidding. The Archangel of Lyons. Named that way. Gonna go with it. Let's see what hits the table for this hidden blessing. Please take a nice deep breath. Last card down. Still point. As I call to the pantheon of all pantheons, all traditions, lineages, and cultures, we cannot get more inclusive than the divinities from all traditions, lineages, and cultures. Please, one card in clarity, the hidden blessing. For the Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, give them a clue, a tip, a hint about what's on the other side of this shadow work, the gold that they will alchemize dealing with the lead, so that they can embrace their great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. With this Lover's card on the inner, it is a heart, throat, third eye, crown alignment there to make the most loving, wise, empowered decision that they can. With the Empress on the outer, if they are presenting as the Empress, they're already whole and complete. They don't need, they may want, but there's no need within the Empress. She has it all inside of us. She's every woman. It's all in her. While they dissolve judgments, because they don't have to like the behavior of others in order to love their journey. As a matter of fact, in order to be emotionally free, it's okay to dislike. And so honesty is essential, but let it begin at home. Let it be within the Virgo walls, the sugar walls. Sheena East and White, courtesy telephone. Because to be a loving person, it's important that we speak truthfully and in a loving manner, particularly to ourselves first. It's okay not to like what they're doing, right? But we can love that we're learning and we're growing and evolving. And that is certainly our responsibility. No one else can respond to this stuff in our own personal lives and inside of ourselves but us. Who else's job is it if it's not ours? So please, what's the hidden blessing here? Leave it in my hand. Put it together. Make it so clear that the Virgo goes, now that makes sense. This full to new, June 2022. A blessing on the children's. I ain't got no kids. I have cats and companies, though. Work. And art forms and creativity and all of that. Oh, well, first of all, she's got kicking hair. I love her hair. I love her. I mean, these cards, just gorgeous. And she's got a little baby pony unicorn. I was raised by a nursery school teacher. When you meet my mom, people usually get it. Oh, it's card number 11. It's all ones. What a coinky dink. I don't like that card. That'd make a neat tattoo. I don't know that I want a baby unicorn on me, though. I'm a top. Let's see. Like I said, we're joking around. But this is where the poo gets real. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Pantheons of the divine, confer the blessing through me. Use me. So mote it be. Clear that third chakra. Card number 11. A blessing on the children. A blessing for your own children and for the children within our lives. For they are all our children. They're screaming at the top of their lungs in their restaurant, though. That's not great. Only you, as the mother or father, Empress, know the tender moments you have seen. The first cry, the gaze of wonder, the curiosity of the newborn in love with the world or howling at the teeth of hunger within the belly. Oh, I'm so glad I can't be pregnant in this life. I'm a dude, thank you, Y chromosome. I've been mother plenty of times on this planet. I've been female more than I've been male incarnationally. Can't you tell? May the children of the world be most blessed as they move from babe to child, learning the gifts of speech and movement, of thought and awareness. Now look, the kids are important. Well, I believe the children are our future. As they move from being entwined with mother to becoming their own selves, may they be guided with understanding and taught resilience and strength of character. Very Virgo, by the way. May their falls be lessons from which they learn to rise up, steady themselves, and continue. And I'm getting real strong clairaudiently here that if you are dealing with adults and you don't have kids in your life in this way, and that's not what's triggering your judgment, then you're looking at somebody who's dealing with an inner child issue, probably a childhood issue, that you don't have to like their behavior, but you can understand this is from their childhood. You know, the child archetype has a scale of childish to childlike, right? Pee Wee Herman to Dalai Lama, and we're all on that scale somewhere. May they learn that kindness to themselves need not forgo kindness to others. May they be taught the gift of self-love, self-awareness, and may every step they take be watched over, yet be without impediment. Okay, so how many of us were taught how to love ourselves? I was born in 1968. I'm 53. Yeah, I know I don't look at things. But no, that is something we learn as we grow. If this is our lifetime to do that, this might not be somebody else's lifetime to learn that. May they have teachers within schools that foster respect and understanding. And may their teachers show them the way through examples, enlightened and wise. Let the innate goodness within come to the fore, and may they learn to be their best selves, even amidst the harshness of the world. Let every false step be followed with a refining of their way, and may the blessings of the love you have borne them be reborn through their love and contribution to the world. The kids need to be safe to grow and learn, but they also need to be challenged. That's how this world works. It's probably nobody's first time on planet Earth unless they're like serious starseeds. May their nature be allowed to come forth, and when they change the world in ways their elders fail to understand, may they have the strength to embrace them and bring the old ones into the next world they are creating. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So motivating. And do keep in mind that child they're talking about there might very well be your child that may have experienced abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss throughout your life, and that kid remembers everything, and it needs the love that only you can give it. Again, this stuff, being honest, begins at home. So did you like it? Did it make sense? Did it resonate? Hit the thumbs up. Help the other Virgos find this. What if you healing your childhood stuff keeps kids from being harmed, and they're vulnerable, right, to even the sea change politically that goes on in the world, right? All of a sudden, kids got to deal with stuff they have no idea how to deal with. So just something to think about there. And if you want more of me on YouTube, by all means, subscribe. I'm good at what I do. I know what I'm talking about. I've got good hair, and I'm fun, so come play along here on YouTube if you want to, you do you. But really, if you want to go deeper, if you want the exclusive content, the deeper magic, miracles, and mysticism from a professional witch, Virgo power, then come play Patreon on Patreon. I say play, but it's because we have fun doing it. You know, that spoonful of organic honey and or turbinado sugar to make that medicine go down is what I'm serving over there. Like I said, drinking coffee on the laptop. Well, not sitting on the laptop, streaming there pretty much every morning, talking about the day's lunar astrology in a bathrobe. It's my gig. So come Patreon on Patreon. That being said, if you want to book me for a private reading, booking a reading with Mel in the description box. And really, my Virgos, I love you. Hang in there. We are one, but we are each individual grains of sand, all hewn from the same rock, so to speak, but unique and individual, and we can make our way into and out of anywhere. Thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing you the very, very best and the very, very, very blessed of this shadow work. Full to new June 2022. Hail. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be.